On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected.
Thank you to all our amazing channel members for your generous support.
June Lockhart, a beloved figure of American television and film, passed away peacefully in her later years, leaving behind a legacy rooted in warmth, intelligence, and the portrayal of family values across decades of entertainment. Best known for her roles as the nurturing yet resilient matriarch in Lassie and Lost in Space, Lockhart's passing marked the end of an era that celebrated optimism, moral integrity, and the comforting stability of post-war American domestic life. Her death was a natural one, reflective of a long, accomplished life, a quiet contrast to the turbulence that often surrounds Hollywood icons. Lockhart's life and eventual death mirrored the transition of American culture from the golden age of television into a more complex, media-saturated world. When she first appeared in Lassie in the 1950s, the United States was redefining itself through family-centered ideals. The image of her calm, compassionate presence represented what many sought during uncertain times, a reminder of kindness and steady moral grounding. As she aged gracefully, remaining active in conventions and retrospectives, her enduring relevance showed how nostalgia can serve as a bridge between generations. Her passing, therefore, was not simply the loss of a performer. It was a symbolic farewell to an era that valued sincerity and simplicity in storytelling. The immediate reaction to her death was one of reverence and affection. Tributes poured in from fans and colleagues who had grown up watching her on black and white screens, many calling her America's mother. Her legacy became even more celebrated in death as audiences revisited her filmography and recognized her subtle strength in shaping television's early female archetypes. In a world increasingly dominated by cynicism and spectacle, Lockhart's quiet influence was rediscovered as a testament to the enduring power of grace and empathy. June Lockhart's passing invites reflection on how humanity treasures figures who embody stability and virtue in times of change. Her roles remind us that mortality need not diminish legacy. When a life is devoted to portraying hope, it continues to echo through the hearts of those it touched. We immortalize such figures not through grand monuments, but through memory, reruns of beloved shows, cultural references, and the comfort their work continues to bring. In this way, Lockhart's death, like her life, underscores the timeless human desire to find light, even in the quiet dusk of farewell. Nick Mangold's death at age 41 from complications related to kidney disease marked a profoundly human ending to the story of one of football's most respected figures, a man whose strength, humor, and humility came to define an era of New York Jets history. Having battled a rare genetic kidney disorder for years, Mangold had made his struggle public only weeks before his passing, candidly revealing that he was undergoing dialysis and seeking a transplant. His openness in the face of such adversity reflected the values that had defined both his career and his generation of athletes: resilience, transparency, and a willingness to confront vulnerability in a culture that often glorifies invincibility. Mangold's death highlighted the evolving conversation about athlete health both during and after their playing careers. In a sport long associated with physical toughness and endurance, his passing from a chronic illness, not an on-field injury, underscored the unseen toll that genetics and long-term health issues can exact, even on the strongest of bodies. It also illuminated a shift in public attitudes. Where once athletes were expected to mask pain, Mangold's honesty inspired empathy, community, and awareness. His public appeal for a kidney transplant became a rallying cry, not just for fans of the Jets or Ohio State, but for anyone facing a similar struggle. The immediate aftermath of his death brought an outpouring of grief and respect. Jets owner Woody Johnson called him the heartbeat of our offensive line for a decade, and fans across the nation celebrated his blue-collar spirit, an emblem of New York grit and Midwestern humility. Mangold's story now transcends his athletic achievements: 7 Pro Bowl selections, 2 All-Pro honors, and a place in the Jets' Ring of Honor, to embody the humanity behind the helmet. His legacy, amplified in death, speaks to the timeless truth that greatness is not merely measured by victories, but by character. Through tributes, Hall of Fame discussions, and memorials, Mangold will continue to live in the collective memory of sports culture. His death reminds us that our heroes are mortal, yet their courage in facing mortality can redefine how we remember them. In honoring figures like Nick Mangold, we affirm that the essence of human greatness lies not in perfection, but in perseverance, humility, and the impact one leaves behind. Robert Evans, one of Hollywood's most influential and controversial producers, passed away in 2019 at the age of 89 from natural causes at his Beverly Hills home. His death marked the end of an extraordinary chapter in American cinema, a life defined by ambition, reinvention, and scandal. Evans's passing was symbolic of the fading golden era of Hollywood's 1970s Renaissance, a time when studio executives were as famous and colorful as the stars they discovered. Born Robert J. Shapira in 1930, Evans rose from a modest background to become a defining figure at Paramount Pictures, where he oversaw some of the most iconic films in cinematic history, including The Godfather, Chinatown, and Rosemary's Baby. His death was a natural one, yet it symbolized the closing of a chapter in an industry that no longer resembled the one he helped build, an era where creativity and risk were valued above corporate uniformity. Evans's decline in later years, after his fall from grace due to drug use and scandal, mirrored Hollywood's own transformation from a haven of art and vision to one of image management and profit-driven decision-making. The immediate aftermath of Evans' death was filled with tributes from filmmakers, actors, and film historians who acknowledged his unique ability to blend artistic instinct with commercial sensibility. For many, his death represented not just the loss of a producer, but of a spirit that defined the rebellious, auteur-driven culture of 1970s filmmaking. Figures like Francis Ford Coppola and Roman Polanski flourished under his tenure, and his influence extended well beyond the films he produced. He reshaped how Hollywood viewed the producer's role itself. Evans' legend, if anything, was amplified by his passing. His memoir and documentary, The Kid Stays in the Picture, had already immortalized him as a mythic figure, flawed, charming, and unrelentingly ambitious. In death, his narrative took on an almost cinematic quality. The rise, the fall, and the redemption of a man who refused to fade quietly from the frame. Robert Evans's death invites reflection on humanity's fascination with power, glamour, and legacy. We immortalize figures like him not just for their successes, but for their contradictions, their ability to embody both genius and fragility. Through documentaries, retrospectives, and the timeless films he shepherded, Evans remains alive in the collective imagination, a reminder that ambition, even when imperfect, can leave behind art that transcends mortality. His passing reaffirmed an enduring truth. In Hollywood, legends never truly die. They're projected eternally on the silver screen. Sue Randall, best remembered for her portrayal of the kind-hearted Miss Landers on the beloved 1950s sitcom Leave It to Beaver, died on October 26, 1984, at the age of 49. Her death, caused by lung cancer, was both premature and deeply reflective of an era when smoking was not only widespread, but glamorized in American media and culture. The tragedy of her passing lies not just in its personal loss, but in how it mirrored a generational shift, one in which the very ideals of mid-century American wholesomeness collided with the growing awareness of lifestyle-related health crises. Randall's death was the quiet opposite of her screen persona. While she was a fixture in homes across America during television's golden age, her final years were marked by privacy and retreat from the public eye. She had left acting by the late 1960s, choosing a modest life away from Hollywood. Her passing, though not front-page news, deeply resonated with fans who grew up watching Leave It to Beaver. In an age before social media and instant tributes, her death reminded audiences of the transient nature of fame and the passage of a gentler television era that once idealized morality, respect, and simplicity. Her death also reflected the hidden costs of the entertainment industry's cultural norms. In the mid-20th century, cigarette smoking was marketed as sophisticated and liberating, often endorsed by the very stars admired by the public. Randall's struggle with lung cancer, like that of many of her contemporaries, stands as a tragic emblem of those shifting attitudes where the allure of Hollywood's image often masked real human fragility. The immediate aftermath of her passing was understated, but her memory has endured in the nostalgic glow of classic television. To this day, fans rediscover Leave It to Beaver and find in Miss Landers a symbol of compassion and moral steadiness, a teacher who represented the optimism of post-war America. Sue Randall's death reminds us of humanity's enduring attempt to preserve innocence amid inevitable decay. Through reruns, retrospectives, and digital archives, she lives on in a timeless loop of black and white simplicity. Her life and passing both invite reflection on the fragility of the ideals we project onto our cultural icons, and how, even decades later, the gentle presence of a performer like Randall can continue to evoke comfort, morality, and a wistful sense of what once was. Hattie McDaniel, a trailblazing actress best known for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, passed away on October 26, 1952, at the age of 57. Her death from breast cancer marked the loss of a groundbreaking figure whose career reflected both the immense possibilities and the harsh limitations faced by African-American performers in early Hollywood. McDaniel's life and death encapsulated the complexities of race, representation, and resilience during a period of profound social change in the United States. At the time of her death, McDaniel's health had been deteriorating for several years, forcing her to withdraw from acting and public appearances. Though she was the first African American to win an Academy Award, a historic achievement that broke barriers, she faced considerable backlash from both white Hollywood elites and segments of the black community. Many civil rights activists criticized her for taking roles that reinforced racial stereotypes, while the film industry continued to typecast her as a domestic servant, despite her obvious talent and charisma. Her death thus symbolized not only the physical toll of her illness, but also the emotional strain of navigating fame within a system structured by segregation and discrimination. The immediate reaction to McDaniel's passing was marked by reverence and reflection. Fans and peers recognized her as a pioneer who had opened doors that others would later walk through. However, even in death, racism shadowed her legacy. She wished to be buried in Hollywood Cemetery, but the cemetery's segregation policy denied her request. Instead, she was interred at Angelus Rosedale Cemetery, a resting place for many prominent African Americans. Decades later, Hollywood Cemetery, now Hollywood Forever, installed a memorial in her honor, acknowledging both her contributions and the injustices she faced. McDaniel's death amplified her legend, transforming her from a controversial figure into a symbol of perseverance and progress. In the years since, she has been celebrated through documentaries, biographies, and tributes that reinterpret her career within the context of systemic inequality. Her Academy Award, once seen as a token victory, now stands as a cornerstone of representation in film history. Ultimately, Hattie McDaniel's passing invites us to consider how society remembers its pioneers. Her life reminds us that mortality cannot silence courage, and that memory, through art, recognition, and renewed understanding, has the power to correct historical wrongs and immortalize those who dared to defy their times. Richard Mall, the towering actor best remembered for his role as the gentle giant Bull Shannon on the hit sitcom Night Court, passed away peacefully in his home in Big Bear Lake, California, on October 26, 2023, at the age of 80. His death from natural causes closed the curtain on a career that blended humor, warmth, and an unforgettable physical presence that left an indelible mark on American television. Mall's passing reflected a generational shift in Hollywood, an era where television comedy had transitioned from character-driven storytelling to rapid-fire humor and streaming dominance. In the 1980s, Night Court stood as a cultural cornerstone, mixing absurdity with humanity during a decade defined by materialism and urban chaos. Mall's character, with his imposing 6 feet 8 inches frame and kind-hearted demeanor, became a symbol of empathy amid the madness. His death evoked nostalgia for a time when sitcoms were communal experiences, uniting audiences around quirky yet relatable characters. The immediate response to his passing was one of widespread affection. Fans, colleagues, and critics paid tribute to Mall not only for his comedic timing, but also for the humanity he brought to every role, whether playing an eccentric villain in fantasy films like House, 1986, or lending his deep, resonant voice to animated series such as Batman, the animated series, where he portrayed Two-Face. His versatility, often overlooked during his lifetime, was celebrated anew, with many recognizing how his roles bridged generations of entertainment, from classic television to cult cinema and animation. While Mall never sought stardom in the conventional sense, his death underscored how fame is sometimes best measured not by accolades, but by affection. The outpouring of respect following his death redefined his legacy, shifting him from a beloved television side character to a cherished symbol of authenticity and kindness in an often cynical industry. In a broader sense, Richard Mall's death highlights humanity's enduring need to remember those who make us feel seen, even through laughter. His legacy lives on through reruns, digital archives, and the countless fans who revisit Night Court as a comfort in uncertain times. Through art and remembrance, Mall's presence endures, proof that humor, when rooted in compassion, transcends both time and mortality. Paul Barrere, the versatile guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter, best known for his work with the legendary band Little Feat, passed away on October 26, 2019, at the age of 71. His death from liver cancer marked the end of an era for a band that had defined a unique fusion of rock, funk, blues, and New Orleans-inspired rhythm. Barrere's passing was not sudden. He had battled health complications for years, but it resonated deeply with fans and musicians who saw him as a symbol of artistic perseverance and authenticity. In many ways, Barrere's death reflected the endurance and struggle of the generation of 1970s rock musicians who lived through both the creative highs and the excesses of their era. Little Feat emerged during a transformative time in American music, when genres blended freely and experimentation reigned supreme. As a guitarist and songwriter, Barrere helped shape that sound, injecting soulful lyrics and intricate guitar work into classics like All That You Dream and Feats Don't Fail Me Now. His illness and eventual passing underscored the toll that years of relentless touring and the rock lifestyle could exact, even as it showcased his resilience. He continued performing with Little Feat until just months before his death. The immediate response to his passing was heartfelt and widespread. Fellow musicians praised Bareri's unmatched ability to merge technical mastery with emotional depth. Fans, meanwhile, revisited the band's catalog, rediscovering how its laid-back grooves and poetic lyrics captured the restless spirit of 1970s America. His death also reignited interest in Little Feat's legacy, cementing Bareri's place not only as a talented guitarist, but as a quiet innovator who helped bridge Southern rock, jazz, and funk into something timeless. Bareri's passing revealed a broader truth about how music immortalizes those who create it. While fame can fade, sound endures, echoing long after the performer is gone. Through live recordings, tribute concerts, and the continued influence of Little Feat's sound on new generations, Bareri's artistry remains alive. His life and death remind us that mortality may silence the musician, but never the music. In honoring him, listeners reaffirm humanity's unending desire to preserve memory through rhythm, melody, and emotion, a legacy that truly don't fail now. Delmar Watson, one of Hollywood's most recognizable child actors of the 1930s, passed away on October 26, 2008, at the age of 82. His death from natural causes marked the quiet close of a life deeply intertwined with the golden age of cinema. Born into the Watson family, a dynasty of child actors known as Hollywood's first family, Delmar's early years reflected a time when the film industry was both a dream factory and a demanding workplace for its youngest stars. His passing symbolized not only the end of an era, but also a reflection on the fleeting nature of fame and the evolution of Hollywood's relationship with child performers. Watson appeared in more than 70 films, including classics like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and Heidi. His roles often embodied the innocence and optimism that Depression-era audiences longed for amid social and economic uncertainty. Yet, like many child actors of his time, his stardom faded as he grew older, a common reality in a studio system that prized youth and novelty. After retiring from acting, Watson found a new calling in photojournalism, capturing real-world stories through his camera. His transition from in front of the lens to behind it reflected the broader post-war American value of reinvention and resilience, mirroring a nation moving from fantasy toward realism in its cultural expressions. The immediate reaction to his death was one of nostalgia and reverence from classic film enthusiasts. For many, Watson's passing served as a reminder of Hollywood's early innocence, when film was still discovering its power to shape collective memory. His long life and peaceful death stood in contrast to the often tragic narratives surrounding child stars, offering a rare story of balance and quiet dignity. Delmar Watson's life and death illuminate humanity's enduring fascination with memory and legacy. Through his films, audiences can still glimpse the moral clarity and emotional simplicity of a bygone age. The act of remembering Watson, whether through restored films, museum exhibits, or the continued study of Hollywood history, demonstrates our instinct to preserve those who shaped cultural milestones. In honoring figures like him, we reaffirm not only their contributions, but also our shared desire to find permanence in art, even as life itself remains impermanent. Tutta Rolf, the Swedish-Norwegian actress and singer, passed away on October 26, 1994, at the age of 87. Her death from natural causes marked the conclusion of a life that had traversed both the glimmering stages of European theater and the burgeoning film industry of the early 20th century. Born in 1907 in Oslo, Rolfe's career reflected an era when cinema was evolving into a dominant cultural force, and female performers were navigating both opportunity and societal constraints. Her passing symbolized the fading of an era defined by elegance, resilience, and the artistry of classical European performance. Rolfe's career flourished during the 1930s, a period characterized by the rise of sound films and the increasing influence of Scandinavian cinema in Europe. She became known not only for her beauty and charm, but also for her ability to convey emotional depth in roles that often explored themes of love, ambition, and societal expectation. Her work mirrored contemporary values, reflecting a period in which female performers were beginning to assert agency within a male-dominated industry while still adhering to the aesthetic and moral codes of the time. The immediate response to her death was one of respect from the Scandinavian arts community, highlighting both her contributions to film and her lasting influence on Swedish culture. Though she had largely retired from public life decades earlier, Rolfe's legacy was amplified through retrospectives and the preservation of her films, ensuring that new generations could appreciate her artistry. Her passing served as a reminder of the fleeting nature of fame, but also of the enduring impact of cultural icons who shaped the artistic standards of their era. Tata Rolfe's life and death illuminate broader human themes of mortality, memory, and cultural preservation. Through cinema, music, and theater, her artistry continues to live on, offering audiences a portal into the aesthetics and values of early 20th century Europe. By commemorating figures like Rolfe, whether through archival restoration, scholarly study, or public homage, society reinforces the notion that art transcends individual mortality. In honoring such performers, we cultivate a collective memory that bridges the ephemeral nature of life with the enduring power of cultural expression. Alma Cogan, known as the girl with the giggle in her voice, passed away on October 26, 1966, at the young age of 34. Her death from ovarian cancer was a shocking loss to the British music scene, cutting short the life of one of the most celebrated vocalists of the 1950s and early 1960s. Cogan's passing reflected both the fragility of life and the pressures faced by performers in an era when female artists were navigating public expectation, commercial demands, and the scrutiny of a media fascinated with youth and beauty. Cogan's career flourished during a period dominated by the emergence of rock and roll, yet she carved her own niche with a distinctively effervescent voice and glamorous persona. Performing on radio, television, and in live concerts, she epitomized the optimism and post-war charm of mid-20th century Britain. Her death came at a time when the music industry was rapidly shifting as younger acts such as the Beatles began to dominate popular culture. Consequently, the news of her premature death resonated as a poignant reminder of the ephemeral nature of fame and the mortality of even the brightest stars. The immediate consequences of Cogan's passing were marked by public mourning and media tributes, as fans and fellow artists alike recognized her contributions to music and her vivacious personality. Although her career had begun to wane in the face of evolving musical trends, her untimely death amplified her legend, preserving her image as a symbol of a glamorous bygone era. Retrospectives, reissued recordings, and homage from later artists ensured that her artistic influence endured well beyond her years. Alma Cogan's life and death underscore humanity's complex relationship with mortality, memory, and cultural legacy. Through recordings, photographs, and public remembrance, she continues to inhabit collective memory, illustrating how art allows individuals to transcend the limits of life. In celebrating her contributions, society demonstrates its desire to immortalize talent, capturing the spirit and values of an era while acknowledging the universal fragility of life. Kogan's enduring presence in popular culture affirms the power of music and performance to preserve memory, transform loss into legacy, and bridge the past with the present.